Morning, everyone. Back here at Ray 5. I want to do a little video about what we're doing this fall. I mean, I know we've had some customers ask some questions. You know, I've planted some peas and some sweet corn and some other things. You know, and I've not grown peas in a couple of years, and I've not grown corn in probably 15. And everybody's, why are you doing it? You know, you said you weren't going to grow peas this year, but it comes down to, early season crops. I mean, we've lost 98% of our tomato crop. It hot, cold, wet, got a disease, pulled them all up. There, nothing there. They just did not produce, so we had to pull every one of them up. And in the other videos you saw where I was putting in the fall run of watermelons, where we pulled up most of the tomatoes, and they're doing good. They're probably the size of golf balls now, so I'll be picking them probably the first week of September. But in the back garden, we tilled up a bunch of stuff, pulled some stuff out, the Hubbard squash and some other things, a couple more rows of tomatoes. We went ahead and eliminated everything tomato wise except our late fall tomatoes. That'll be ready probably second week of September. And we went back with purple hull peas that should be ready around the second week of September. We went back with some Ambrosia sweet corn that should be ready around the second week of September. And the reason we did all of this is, when we lost the tomatoes, we lost. And it's not just the tomatoes, I mean, the peppers. We had 700 or so pepper plants in the garden. And, we've picked a few jalapenos, that's it. And they've got virtually the same disease that my red oaks have. I mean, they just got a black canker fungus. Red oaks around the farm here, they've just got big black fungus spots all over their leaves. Some of them's already dropping leaves because of the heat, and then the fungus also. And the same thing happened to the peppers. I mean, we've lost tomatoes and peppers this year. So, you can say, I'm not growing corn, or no, I don't grow peas, or, I'm not growing this or that. But, on a farm, we're small scale, but it's virtually the same thing as large scale. When you lose your entire early crop, you've lost the fertilizer, the lime, the money goes into it, the fuel, the labor. You've got to figure out some way to recoup that on the back end. So the only way I know to do that this time of the year is, you can do sweet corn, and we put in quite a bit of sweet corn. You can put it in, around July the 4th, and it's only 70 days. So it's picking September. It's still nice and warm. Don't have to worry about any kind of frost or anything. You got plenty enough time to get it off, before fall sets in. And we can do that here simply because, we drip tape irrigate, so we can keep plenty. We don't have to worry about rain if we, to irrigate. If we did, we'd lose everything this year because, everybody knows we're in a drought. Nothing's working. So, we put the peas in on drip tape irrigation. They're all up. I'll do a little video probably the next day or two. They'll be up 3 or 4 inches, so you'll be able to see them up in lines. The sweet corn went in. It'll be up. It'll take 5 to 7 days to germinate because, the sweet corn takes a little bit of time. I'll do a video when it comes up. But, we had to figure out something to recoup loss, I guess, from the peppers and the tomatoes. Because, we lost everything. All the early season stuff, we've just lost. Our okra's still doing good. It'll go good all the way through, late October at least. But, when you do it like this and you try to make a living at it, you've got to figure out something to plant, anything that's available that you've got time to get off, to try to recoup the money that, the fertilizer, the labor, the fuel, the plastic, the drip tape. All of that stuff, you've got to figure out how to get that recouped. So hopefully, the good Lord willing, we'll have watermelons, we'll have purple hull peas, we'll have Ambrosia sweet corn, and fall tomatoes all coming off around the middle of September. So we'll have virtually a second season late fall, September. We'll have the tomatoes, the squash, the zucchini. The only thing we won't have are peppers. We'll have tomatoes, we'll have watermelons, we'll have sweet corn, we'll have purple hull peas. Everything that you normally see, in June, we'll be having in September, just to try to take up what we've lost early season with all the tomatoes and then all the peppers. So, we've had some people asking, hey, I didn't think you did, purple hull peas, because we did a video with us planting them, and we did, a video of the watermelons for the fall, for September. So, I just wanted to let people know what's going on here. And it's just, we've had a rough year early on, and you know we've lost a lot, a whole lot. So we're just trying to recoup on the back end stuff that I know I could plant the middle of July, and it'll be coming off in September, and still have plenty enough time, because it's virtually the same growing season. Well, this year it's not because of the heat. I mean, it's crazy hot. We're going to be 103, 107, somewhere around in there, you know, for the next 7 days or so. We put in another run of butternut and acorn squash, and I'll say I've already lost probably 25% of those because of the heat. You know, we transplanted them in, and I had to put them in. You know, I've been holding off. I didn't want to put them in because they, you know, I knew the heat was coming, but I held off as long as I could, and they were starting to get root bound. I had to get them in the ground, and you know, we've lost probably 25% of them just because of the heat. It's just hot. You know, we're watering, not a problem. It's just when it's 103, 105 degrees, they just can't take it. But I had to put them in, because if not, they were going to get root bound and wouldn't make it anyway. So that's what's happening here. Just everybody was asking, you know, they saw the pea video and they're like, well, you said you didn't grow peas. Well, normally I don't grow peas because, you know, picking the peas and then trying to sell the peas by the bushel or whatnot, you know, you run into, you know, everybody wants peas, but nobody shows to pick them up, or, you know, whatever. But we had to figure some way to try to recoup the money lost in the spring. So that's where we're at. You know, watermelons, tomatoes, sweet corn, and purple ball peas on top of the okra and the squash, the zucchini, and everything else, you know, September. So we'll have a complete second season late. So just kind of watch and keep up with us, and, you know, we'll let everybody know when everything's coming off and how everything's doing. But hopefully we can make it through the next 5 to 7 days. I mean, it's going to be 103 to 108. Hopefully, you know, I've sprayed clay, the Surround WP on everything young, which will cut a lot of the heat out of the plant. Hopefully that will help and keep everything safe. But this week's kind of got me worried with the young transplanted tomatoes, the butternut squash, and the acorn. So hopefully everything's good. You know, the peas are coming up. The peas can take the heat, you know, not a problem. The corn will be up probably in a couple of days. They should be all right because they're not on plastic, good drip tape. But it's just the heat's kind of got everything worked up here. So y'all stay in touch, and we'll keep everybody informed on what we've got going on, and we'll see everybody. You know, we'll be at the market today. Today's Tuesday. We'll